Combustion and Flame. About combustion. We use different kinds of fuel for various purposes at home, in industry, and for running automobiles. Can you name a few fuels used in our homes, in trade, and fuels are used for running automobiles? Your list will contain fuels like cow dung, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, diesel, compressed natural gas, that is CNG, etc. You are familiar with the burning of a candle. What is the difference between the burning of a candle and the burning of a fuel like coal? Candle burns with a flame, whereas coal does not. Similarly, you will find many other materials burning without a flame. Let us study the chemical process of burning and the types of flame produced during this process. What is combustion? Combustion is the process of burning of a substance, generally in the presence of oxygen, with the evolution of heat and light. For example, charcoal burns in the air to give carbon dioxide and heat. In the same way, all fuels undergo oxidation during burning. Combustion. Combustion is therefore an oxidation reaction accompanied by the evolution of heat and light. Take a piece of charcoal, hold the piece with a pair of tongs, and bring it near the flame of a candle or a Bunsen burner. What do you observe? We find that charcoal burns in air. We know that coal too burns in air, producing carbon dioxide, heat, and light. A chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat is called combustion. The substance that undergoes combustion is said to be combustible. It is also called a fuel. The fuel may be solid, liquid, or gas. Sometimes light is also given off during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. Combustible and non-combustible substances. Substances such as paper, kerosene, petrol, and wood which burns easily are known as combustible substances. Substances that do not burn easily are called non-combustible substances. For example, iron, glass, diamonds, etc. are non-combustible substances. We were told that food is a fuel for our body. Rightly so. In our body, food is broken down by reactions with oxygen and heat is produced. Activity. Fix a lighted candle on a table. Put a glass chimney over the candle and rest it on a few wooden blocks in such a way that air can enter the chimney. Observe what happens to the flame. The candle burns freely when air can enter the chimney from below. Now, remove the block and let the chimney rest on the table. We find that for combustion, air is necessary. When air does not enter the chimney from below, the flame flickers and produces smoke. Again, observe the flame. Finally, put a glass plate over the chimney. The flame finally goes off because air is not available. Information. We have read that sun produces its own heat and light. It is also some kind of combustion. In the sun, heat and light are produced by nuclear reactions. Have you heard of forest fire? During extreme heat of summer, at some places, dry grass catch fire. From grass, it spreads to trees, and very soon the whole forest is on fire. It is very difficult to control such fires. These experiences tells you that different substances catch fire at different temperatures. The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called its ignition temperature. Can you tell now why a matchstick does not catch fire on its own at room temperature? Why does the matchstick starts burning on rubbing it on the side of the matchbox? The history of matchstick is very old. More than 5,000 years ago, small pieces of pine wood dipped in sulfur were used as matches in ancient Egypt. The modern safety match was developed only about 200 years ago. These days, the head of safety match contains only antimony trisulfide and potassium chlorate. The rubbing surface has powdered glass and a little red phosphorus, which is much less dangerous. When the match is stuck against the rubbing surface, some red phosphorus gets converted into white phosphorus. This immediately reacts with potassium chlorate in the matchstick's head to produce enough heat to ignite antimony trisulfide and start the combustion. We find that a combustible substance cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Kerosene oil and wood do not catch fire at room temperature on their own. But if kerosene oil is heated a little, it catches fire. But if wood is heated a little, it would still not catch fire. Does it mean that ignition temperature of kerosene oil is lower than that of wood? Yes. Does it mean that we need to take special care in storing kerosene oil? Definitely yes. The following activity shows that it is essential for a substance to reach ignition temperature to burn. Activity. Make 2 paper cups by folding a sheet of paper. Pour about 50 ml of water in one of the cups. Heat both the cups separately with a candle. What do you observe? What happens to the empty paper cup? It catches fire and burn. What happens to the paper cup with water? Does water in this cup become hot? If we continue heating the cup, we can even boil water in the paper cup. An explanation for this phenomenon is the heat supplied to the paper cup is transferred to water by conduction. So, in the presence of water, the ignition temperature of paper is not reached. Hence, it does not burn. The substances which have very low ignition temperature can easily catch fire with a flame are called inflammable substances. Examples of inflammable substances are petrol, alcohol, liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG, etc. How do we control fire? You must have seen or heard of fire breaking out in homes, shops, and factories. As soon as you come to know about fire breaking in your neighborhood, your first step is to make a call to fire service station. It is important that all of us should know the telephone number of fire service station. The number is 101. For ambulance service, the number is 102. And for the police service, the number is 100. When a fire brigade arrives, what does it do? It pours water on the fire. Water cools the combustible material so that its temperature is brought below its own ignition temperature. This prevents the fire from spreading. Water vapors surround all the combustible material, helping in cutting off the supply of air. So, the fire is extinguished. The job of a fire extinguisher is to cut off supply of air or to bring down the temperature of the fuel or both. The most common fire extinguisher is water, but water works only when things like wood and paper are on fire. If electrical equipment is on fire, water may conduct electricity and harm those trying to douse the fire. Water is also not suitable for fires involving oil and petrol. As you all know, that water is heavier than oil, so it sinks below the oil and oil keeps burning on the top. For, for fires involving electrical equipments and inflammable materials like petrol, carbon dioxide is the best extinguisher. Carbon dioxide, being heavier than oxygen, covers the fire like a blanket. Since the contact between the fuel and the oxygen is cut off, the fire is controlled. The added advantage of carbon dioxide is that in most cases it does not harm the electrical equipments. How do we get the supply of carbon dioxide? It can be stored at high pressure as a liquid in cylinders. When released from the cylinder, carbon dioxide expands enormously in volume and cools down. So it not only forms a blanket around the fire, it also brings down the temperature of the fuel. That is why it is an excellent fire extinguisher. Type Types of combustion. Combustion is mainly of three types: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. Let us study about all the three in detail. Rapid combustion. If a combustion reaction takes place with a high speed, it is known as rapid combustion. There are substances like phosphorus which burns in air at room temperature. When a When a burning matchstick is brought near a gas burner and the gas tap is opened, the gas immediately starts burning with the production of heat and light. The oxidation reaction, in which a large amount of heat and light are produced in short time, is called rapid combustion. Spontaneous combustion, the type of combustion in which a material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of any apparent cause, is called spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion of coal dust has resulted in many disastrous fires in coal mines. Spontaneous forest fires are sometimes due to the heat of sun or due to the lightning strike. However, most forest fires are due to the carelessness of human beings. It is important to remember that the campfires must be completely extinguished before leaving a forest after the picnic or a visit. Explosion. We generally have fireworks on festival days. When a cracker is ignited, a sudden reaction takes place with the evolution of heat, light, and sound. A large amount of gas formed in the reaction is liberated. Such a reaction is called explosion. Explosion can also take place if pressure is applied on the crackers. Summary. Oxygen in air is essential for combustion. The substances which burn in air are called combustible. During the process of combustion, heat and light are given out. Ignition temperature is the lowest temperature at which a combustible substances catch fire. Inflammable substances have very low ignition temperature.